Have you ever wondered if what you call anxiety is actually something deeper? Something that isn't broken or wrong, but awake? You feel it in your chest, that tightness, the racing thoughts, the endless what-ifs. You tell yourself you're anxious, that something inside you needs fixing. But what if it's not anxiety you're feeling? What if it's awareness, raw, powerful awareness, trying to wake you up? You see, most people move through life half asleep. They follow routines, they chase distractions, they silence their inner voice because it's too loud, too demanding, too uncomfortable. But your mind refuses to shut off. You notice everything, you feel deeply. You question things others ignore. That restlessness, that unease, it's not a flaw, it's your awakening. It's the part of you that refuses to settle for a numb life. The world tells you to calm down, to relax, to stop overthinking. But maybe your thoughts are trying to tell you something. Maybe your mind isn't restless, it's alert. Maybe your heart isn't panicking, it's preparing. What if this storm inside you isn't chaos, but creation? What if every racing heartbeat is a reminder that you are meant for more, that your life is calling you to rise? You're not anxious because you're weak. You're anxious because you care. You care about meaning, about purpose, about truth. You care about becoming who you're meant to be. That awareness burns because it's breaking through the old version of you, the one that accepted less, stayed silent, played small. The discomfort you feel is the birth of change. It's your inner self whispering, wake up, don't sleep through your own life. Every moment of unease, every rush of nervous energy, every night spent overthinking, it's all energy waiting to be directed. You can drown in it, or you can rise with it. Anxiety isn't the enemy, it's the signal. It's your system coming online. It's the mind saying, something isn't right, and I'm ready to do something about it. When you start to see it this way, everything shifts. You stop fighting yourself. You start listening. You start learning. Think about it. The moments that scare you most are often the same moments that hold the most potential for growth. Fear shows up right before transformation. Doubt appears when you're about to cross into something new. What you call anxiety is the tension between who you are and who you're becoming. It's not a curse. It's an awakening disguised as discomfort. Stay with that thought, because if you can stop running from your anxiety, you can start walking with it. You can turn it into awareness, focus, and drive. Can let it teach you what matters, where you're stuck, and what you need to release. And when you finally see it for what it is, not a burden, but a signal, you'll feel something powerful happen inside you. That's why you need to keep listening. Because by the end of this, you'll see your anxiety differently. You'll stop fearing it and start understanding it. You'll realize that what feels like breaking is actually becoming. You'll learn how to turn awareness into action, fear into fuel, and tension into transformation. You'll see that you were never anxious. You were awake the entire time. When you begin to see that what you've called anxiety is really awareness, something inside you shifts. The tension doesn't vanish, but it starts to make sense. The thoughts that once overwhelmed you start to sound like signals, not threats. You begin to realize that your mind isn't attacking you. It's alerting you. It's saying, you're not aligned. You're not where you're meant to be yet. That realization hurts at first because it asks for honesty. It asks you to look at the places in your life where you've been pretending to be fine. You start to notice the moments when you shrink yourself to fit in. The relationships that drain you, the habits that numb you, the work that doesn't fulfill you. Every time your body tightens, every time your heart races, it's your system trying to wake you up to those truths. You've been calling that anxiety, but it's clarity, uncomfortable clarity, demanding your attention. Most people run from that feeling. They bury it under distractions, noise, and endless scrolling. But you, if you're listening now, you're ready to face it. That's where everything begins to change. Awareness is not calm. It's raw. It shakes you because it forces you to confront what you've avoided. It's like light flooding into a dark room. You can't unsee what's been revealed. But that's the beauty of awakening. The very discomfort you feared is the doorway to your evolution. When you stop labeling it as a problem, you start unlocking its purpose. That rising energy in your chest, that mental restlessness, it's not meant to paralyze you. It's meant to move you. It's your life force, unexpressed, asking for direction. Every time you ignore it, it builds pressure. That's why anxiety feels explosive. It's energy trapped in hesitation. You're holding back words you want to speak, dreams you want to chase, boundaries you need to set. The fear you feel isn't proof that you're weak. It's proof that something inside you is stronger than your excuses. That tension is the signal that your potential is outgrowing your comfort zone. Your body is reacting not because you're broken, but because you're on the edge of expansion. The moment you stop resisting and start listening, the energy begins to change. Awareness turns into intuition. Fear turns into focus. You start to move with purpose instead of panic. You start asking, what is this feeling trying to teach me? Instead of how do I make it stop? That single question transforms everything. Because every surge of anxiety now becomes a message, pointing you toward alignment, calling you toward authenticity, reminding you that you're still alive. There's a calm that exists beyond the panic, but you don't find it by fighting the feeling. You find it by accepting that your awareness is your greatest strength. You were never meant to be numb. You were meant to feel deeply, to see sharply, to question boldly. The world needs people like you, awake, aware, and courageous enough to feel what others run from. Your sensitivity isn't your weakness, it's your superpower. Stay with that truth. Because once you start trusting your awareness instead of fearing it, you begin to reclaim control. You stop asking life to be easier and start asking yourself to be braver. You stop waiting for peace to arrive and start creating it through understanding. This is the moment you stop identifying with anxiety and start awakening to your own strength. And once that happens, you'll never look at fear the same way again. Once you begin trusting your awareness, you start seeing how much power you've always had. You realize that anxiety was never the enemy. It was the messenger carrying truth through your nerves, through your heartbeat, through the thoughts that refused to stay quiet. It was your inner compass screaming for direction. All those years you tried to silence it. You weren't curing the problem. You were muting your intuition. You were trying to fall back asleep. But awareness doesn't go away just because you ignore it. It waits. It waits for the moment you decide to stop running and start listening to what it's been trying to say all along. That voice inside you is not trying to destroy you. It's trying to guide you toward the life you've been avoiding. The life that demands courage. The one where you finally speak your truth. Take the risk. Walk away from what's not meant for you. Every time you suppress that instinct, anxiety grows. Because your body knows what your mind refuses to admit. You're meant for more. And that knowing can't stay buried forever. It pushes through the cracks of fear until you pay attention. That's why growth hurts. Because it requires you to stop betraying yourself in small ways every single day. You can't find peace while living out of alignment. You can't feel free while pretending to be someone you're not. Awareness is relentless because it knows your potential. It knows that underneath the fear, there's strength. Underneath the chaos, there's clarity. When you stop labeling awareness as anxiety and start treating it as intelligence, your relationship with yourself begins to heal. You no longer say, "Why am I like this?" You start saying, "Thank you for showing me what needs to change." The most powerful thing you can do is turn inward without judgment, to sit with the discomfort instead of escaping it. That's where transformation begins, not in control, but in connection. Because awareness is connection. It's the moment your mind and body finally speak the same language. Your anxiety peaks when you're divided, when your heart wants one thing and your choices say another. The moment you start aligning them, the tension begins to ease. Not because life gets easier, but because you stop fighting yourself. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward while feeling it. You'll still feel your heart race. You'll still have moments where your chest tightens. But now, you'll know what it means. You'll understand its energy rising to push you forward, not hold you back. You'll start to feel grateful for the signal, because it means you're alive, awake, aware. It means you haven't given up on yourself. You're beginning to transform that restless energy into focus, into clarity, into fuel. The same energy that once made you panic will start driving you toward your goals. You'll notice that your awareness sharpens your instincts, strengthens your discipline, deepens your empathy. You'll stop doubting your sensitivity and start mastering it. You'll realize that what made you anxious was never life itself. It was resisting the truth inside you. Every moment you choose awareness over avoidance, you reclaim a part of your power. Every time you face what you fear, your anxiety transforms into awakening. You start living with your eyes open, heart steady,